Alright, some variations on Mosin Nagant rifles. Here's some variants, and some of them are the same, some of them are different. Every one of these has some difference that makes it unique, and why it's in my favorites collection, we'll call it, of Mosin Nagants. And I'll grab each one out of the rack and bring it closer so we can see why exactly it's in the collection of favorites, and maybe something you could look for in expanding your collection. The first one is a Hex Receiver, very early, 1927 Ishvekt. I'll kind of roll it there so you can see it. Now this one has been converted, if we can get it to focus, to a sniper rifle. Now, I wouldn't have originally bought it in this configuration, but it was done probably by an importer, and a reasonably good job with a very good stock, a very good bore. And so I went ahead and picked this up because I wanted to have a sniper rifle of some sort, even though it's probably not a real sniper, as they didn't build them on Hex receivers. And the serial number is electro-penciled to match on this PU scope. However, the gun shoots great. It's really fun. I have a brass, or I believe it's brass stacker. Makes these, yeah, brass stacker. It's a little chin riser. Makes it much easier to shoot with that high scope on it. So I probably wouldn't have bought this rifle in this configuration, or had it done to this rifle. I'd have picked something else for sure, but as it was already done and I really liked the rifle, I went ahead with it. And this one is another Hex Receiver. This one is also fairly early, 1929 on this one. Tula. Also in a beautiful stock, a little bit lighter. I haven't refinished any of these. This is a pre-war stock, as you can see, with the sling supports are screwed in with those unique light colored dog collars. And also it has milled band springs as opposed to the stamped later ones, you can see. And some interesting, it's been re-arsenaled of course, but the cartouches still show up fairly good on it. So there's another variant you should have. A nice Hex Receiver. Get the best one you can. They're out there still. I prefer hand picking mine by looking at them. This one of the first Mosin Nagants I ever bought when I first started getting an interest in them. Round receiver, wartime production, 1942. This is an Ishvekt. This is, as all of them, numbers matching, except for the bayonets on many of them. But this one happens to have a numbers matching bayonet that just fits beautifully on the rifle, slips right on and off. Again, it has interesting cartouches on it. Probably one of the more common 9130s you'll find. Very good shooter though. This one doesn't have the best bore. In fact, I would almost call it a sewer pipe bore. Not quite that bad. But what a wonderful shooter. And I might point out also, this one is counterbored quite deep. About 1.25 inches, maybe 1.5 inches. Still, fine shooters. 100 yards, it'll hit 2 liters all day long. Next, everyone should have a finish rifle in their collection. Now I just did a video on this particular rifle, the problems I had with it. It's a VKT 1942, and you can look up that previous video if you'd like to see more information on this Finnish rifle, post-war production stock, and it's New England Westinghouse receiver. And the next two look similar. Of course, this is a 1944, built in 1944, Ishvekt again. This is a pretty run-of-the-mill. This one I did mail order through AIM Surplus. It was a hand select, and you can get some fairly good ones doing that. This one I'm very happy with. Of course, this has the attached bayonet, the wartime half sling support on the front, and just as the last one, no sling support at all on the rear. Very faint cartouches present, as it was probably sanded and refinished over its lifetime. And then of course the last one, similar in length, is an M38. A few small differences. One, of course, the sight is just a little bit, about a 1/4 inch further towards the tip of the barrel on the M38. No bayonet. This particular one I bought from a private individual. Let's see what the date is on it. 1943. If we can get it to focus for us. This one has no cutout for a bayonet, so it is an original stock. It also does not have the cutout for the barrel bands, as that wartime production round receiver did not either. Other than that, the small difference in the sight and the taper of the barrel was different to accommodate that from the M44. And I might point out the slings on both the M38 and the M44 are the shorter carbine length slings. You can tell they have the extra leather sewn in. And you used to be able to find these in the United States. The last one I ordered, actually this one right here, I had to order it from overseas, Bulgaria. Brass buckle. Very light, and one of my favorites to shoot because it is so light and easy to handle. Does have some recoil though, and of course the typical big ball of flame. There's a typical repair done sometime in its life. So there you have it, a few variations on some Mosin Nagants. Hope you see something you like in there, and maybe go searching for something that you need in your collection. Thanks for watching.